Have you ever had one of those days where you just feel exhausted and it seems like no matter what you do, you're running into a wall of some sort? That's going to happen. If today isn't that day, it's going to happen another day. And I just want to encourage you to keep trying. Yesterday, I got to this point of trauma fatigue. I'm doing this CBT therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, dealing with finding out within the past year and a half that my dad, who I grew up knowing as my dad, who I watched physically abuse my mom and who physically abused me growing up, I found out he's not my dad. At first it was relief, and now it's a whole bunch of different feelings. And then I was thinking about Bessel van der Kolk's book, The Body Keeps the Score, and in it he talks about complex PTSD, where people have different things that happen, multiple things. And when you have complex PTSD, or a very, not just one thing that happens, when you have a lot of things. I was sexually abused by a babysitter. I was sexually abused growing up by a cousin for 7 years. I was physically abused. I was mentally abused. My daughter was abused. I didn't know about it until she told. Almost 5 years. We had to go to court. That was trying. And so all these things were happening. My daughter's in therapy. She's doing well. She's a fantastic mother. We've all been in therapy. It's really messed with us. But one of the things Bessel van der Kolk says is that PTSD people who have complex PTSD, they don't see the past as happening long ago. And I think that fits for me. That's something that I've struggled with, is when I have these feelings, it feels like it's happening right now. So yesterday, I decided that I was going to text who I've known as my real dad and who hasn't spoken to me in 7 years, and say, hey, I found out that that you're most likely not my dad. And I know he's not, but I wanted to know if you knew anything about it. He read the message and hasn't responded. And I'm just tired. It is tiring. I did cognitive behavioral therapy. I saw a regular therapist for several years, on and off. I did talk therapy. Then with the VA, I did cognitive behavioral therapy. Then I did exposure therapy, which was horrible for my sexual abuse. And I've got a dog that she can tell that I'm kind of struggling, and she does not want to leave me alone. This is Mocha. She's my PTSD service dog. But I did exposure therapy. That was horrible. Now I'm back in CBT therapy. And one of the things that Bessel van der Kolk talks about is this MDMA therapy, where you do ecstasy in a controlled environment, and then you talk about the situation, and apparently it rewires your brain to put the past in the past, where it seems like it's a long time ago. And I'm going to keep trying. Yesterday at one point I had a bit of hopelessness. I felt like it's the only way to stop being in pain, to not be alive anymore. And I'm not talking about ending anything for myself. It's just like, I'm wondering, is that the only way to not hurt all the time? And then I was like, no, I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna finish out this CBT. I have an appointment tomorrow, and I'm gonna ask my therapist what's available. Is there ketamine? Is there MDMA? What can I do to keep trying? And I want you to keep trying. You're not alone. If something works or only works partially, or you get a dog that doesn't want to leave you be, keep trying. If you try a certain type of therapy or a certain therapist and you don't jive, keep trying. Find a different one. You're worth it, and it's worth it. I promise.